Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are speaking out about drone sightings. We'll tell you what they're calling for the government to do. And we learn more in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, how the suspect could return to New York today. Plus, a new public safety headquarters for Victoria continues construction. We'll show you the progress made so far.
It was a bit of a warm one this weekend. Highs were in the 80s. That trend will continue with us for a couple days before a front gets here Wednesday night. But Christmas is just 9 days away. What's that looking like? All that and the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and thank you for joining us on this Monday morning.
That's right. It's Monday morning. We're off to another week, and now we're just 9 days away. I just said that 9 days away from Christmas.
That's right. For a lot of people, this is the last day or the last week of going to the office. Next week, many of you will be off, and then we'll jump right into the new year.
Right into the new year. That's 16 days away. 2025,
yes.
Right around the corner. Wow, we have flown through this year. But right now, it's a bit of a warm one out there, and I'm sure you've noticed that over the weekend. It does not feel like Christmas, even though we're just 9 days away. Right now, if you're tuning in with us, you're looking live in Victoria. You can actually see some of the clouds starting to slowly pick back up out there. 63 right now in Victoria. That's pretty warm for mid-December if you're asking me. Very nice, actually, if you're really asking me, because I like the warm weather. Also plenty humid out there as well. Dew point 2 degrees off, bringing humidity to 93%. It is high enough to see a little bit of fog, but I do not think it's going to be 2 mile visibility. You can see that right here. It's not like that out there this morning. We have a little bit of breeze out there providing a little mixing, so if you see any fog out there, it's going to be really thin, so no need to worry about that this morning. But temperatures, you don't need to worry about that either. We're all in the low and mid 60s, some in the upper 60s along the coast next to that warm 60-degree water. But today it's going to be another warm one in the 80s. Why? Because the winds, they're still out of the south, bringing all that land heated air through us and through the rest of Texas. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door this morning, like I said, no need for the jacket or an umbrella today. Not really expecting too much rain. And we're going to take a look at the details of your day and more coming up next.
The list of states with reported drone sightings now includes New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Virginia. State and local police are trying to investigate the aircraft, but they don't have the authority to counter them. That could change under proposed legislation. Calls are growing for new federal legislation to address drones. The Homeland Security Secretary says he wants lawmakers to act. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he's going to co-sponsor legislation to, quote, give local law enforcement more tools for drone detection. Now to the fight to get Luigi Mangione back to New York. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson could be extradited at any moment. It comes after Mangione retained a high-profile defense attorney.
Prosecutors are preparing for Luigi Mangione to arrive back in New York as early as tomorrow after charging him in the murder of United Healthcare chief Brian Thompson. Sources tell ABC News Mangione is almost certain to waive extradition from Pennsylvania. A grand jury in New York could also hand down an indictment against Mangione at any moment, speeding up the extradition process. Mangione was arrested in Altoona last week, 5 days after Thompson was gunned down. ABC News has learned Mangione's mother spoke with FBI agents and NYPD detectives the day before his arrest, indicating surveillance photos could be her son. The task force was still working on the information she provided when Mangione was spotted by a McDonald's employee. Sources also said writings police seized from Mangione suggest he was fixated on United Healthcare for months and gradually developed a plan to kill its chief executive. Over the weekend, Mangione added a high-profile defense attorney to his legal team. Karen Friedman Agnifilo spent 7 years as second-in-command at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Earlier this week, before becoming Mangione's attorney, she offered a preview of a potential defense strategy.
He was brilliant his whole life. He comes from this great family. I mean, something changed, right? Significantly, something changed. And they're going to, I think, potentially have a not guilty by reason of insanity potential defense.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The city of Victoria will soon have one of its, or actually several of its public safety departments housed under one roof. The new construction of the public safety headquarters is near the corner of Main Street and Airline, and when complete, the new facility will be the home of the police department, the fire administration, the municipal court, and 911 dispatch. Victoria City Manager Jesus Garza says the update has been needed for some time now.
Really was needed in order to consolidate the various sites that our police department currently take up, as well as, quite frankly, just have the state-of-the-art facility that our personnel need and deserve.
The new 70,000 square foot facility is expected to fully open in October of next year. The Victoria County Commissioners are meeting for the last time this year. Here's what's on the agenda. They'll consider appointments to the Victoria County Historical Commission. They'll also consider approval for the 2025 fiscal year Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force overtime and authorized expenses. They'll also consider approval of an order 2024-0096 for affixing the 2025 Victoria County officials and employee salaries. They meet on the second floor of the courthouse at 115 North Boyd Street in room 241. Calhoun County Commissioners have appointed a new county judge. The commissioners appointed Vern Lisi during a special meeting Friday. Ronald Best will replace Lisi as a Precinct 2 commissioner. The court appointed Joel Behrens as judge pro tem. The county judge position needed to be filled after the sudden death of Judge Richard Meyer last month. 'Tis the season of giving. An event over the weekend celebrated a longtime community leader. The 5th annual Old Landmark Committee Christmas food giveaway took place Saturday outside the American Legion Hall on Santa Rosa Street. Verlin Sandra Avery, who passed away, founded the Old Landmark Committee and the yearly food drive. Sanders Wilkerson, Verlin Sandra Avery's son, makes sure that his mother's caring spirit continues to live on. The food giveaway takes place each year in December. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time now, looking at our clock up here, it's 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. The Buy Now, Pay Later apps are growing in popularity. We get some insight on how consumers are using the apps to cross off names from their Christmas list this year.
Additional drone sightings across the Northeast. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with how federal authorities are responding and the resources they're sending to help.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, it's going to be another warm day all across beautiful Texas for mid-December. I'll tell you how nice I think it's going to be near you, but coming up later on Sunrise, Christmas is just right around the corner. We'll take a look at what that forecast is looking like. Well, good morning, Crossroads. You're looking live in Cuero. You can see that cloud deck starting to slowly pick up over us this morning, and that will be with us until the afternoon time. We're going to look at that here in a second. 68 right now in Cuero. Still plenty warm out there and also plenty humid out there this morning. Humidity is at 98%, bringing us a visibility. This computer says 3 miles. I might maybe say a little bit more than that, around 4 or 5 miles this morning. But definitely, with that being said, nothing to worry about in terms of fog. Like I said, all morning long. But right now, looking at the satellite, you can actually see some of the clouds that are picking up over us this morning. All that's coming off of the Pacific jet stream, which is actually diminishing right now, which is why I think we're going to see some less clouds in the afternoon time. But why the jet stream is diminishing is because we've got an upper level low. This is low number 1. If you were tuning in with us last week, we talked about 3 low systems that would be moving across the United States. Here's a low number 1. That's going to be moving eastward, bringing us some less clouds in the afternoon. And then we have a low number 2 out there just off the west coast. You can actually see there's the front right there. That front will be coming our way on Wednesday night. All of that later on Sunrise, because for today, with the jet stream moving away from us, we're going to start, like I said, seeing a decrease in the cloud cover, and that's going to happen sometime in the afternoon time. I was thinking sometime around 1, 2, or 3 p.m. We're going to start decreasing all the way down to mostly sunny, and then sunny skies in the late afternoon, early evening, and that will continue with us into the overnight hours, mostly clear skies until more clouds pick up in the morning time tomorrow. And behind the clouds today, we're looking for another warm day with the sun peeking through the clouds, 80s all across the board, some in the upper 70s. That trend will continue with us for a couple more days before that front gets here Wednesday night. But coming up next, Christmas around the board. What is your forecast looking like?
Now we go to the latest in the number of drone sightings that are spreading across the Northeast and the calls for answers.
The federal government is sending additional resources to New Jersey and New York to help solve the mystery behind drone sightings reported across at least 7 states from New York to Maryland.
The Robin, which use not a linear line of sight, but 360-degree technology that has a much better chance of detecting these drones.
The reports have prompted authorities to shut down an airport over the weekend. The FAA confirming Stewart International Airport, north of New York City, temporarily closed its runway Friday night after multiple reported drone sightings in the area. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told ABC's This Week exclusively that there is not a national security threat and says the federal government is taking action.
We have not seen any foreign, we know of no foreign involvement with respect to the sightings in the Northeast, and we are vigilant in investigating this matter.
Further complicating matters, a rule change from the FAA in September of 2023 allowing drones to fly at night. The FBI says that it is processing roughly 5,000 drone-related tips, but found less than 100 have generated credible leads.
Some of those drone sightings are in fact drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones, but there's no question that drones are being sighted.
The House Intelligence Committee is expected to receive a classified briefing on the drone sightings this Tuesday. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
A new way to shop is gaining in popularity. More Americans are using buy now, pay later services. Some people are turning to this plan to avoid accumulating massive credit card debt. More and more retailers are adopting what is known as BNPL. A new report shows on Cyber Monday, consumers spent nearly $1 billion using buy now and pay later apps. Experts caution that while these services can offer flexibility, they also carry financial risk, especially if consumers miss paying back what they owe. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, have you recently used a buy now, pay later service? All right, let's take a look. 10% of you say yes, and I'm right there with you. I've done that before. You got to stay on time with your payments for sure. And 82% of you say no, you have not done that. And 8% of you say no, but you are interested in learning more. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Sunday afternoon, Angel Lucy's Funeral Home held its annual toy giveaway for local families in need. With over 6,000 toys available and 700 people registered, the event spread some holiday joy across the Crossroads. More than 1,000 children received gifts. It's the 7th annual toy giveaway tradition for Angel Lucy's, and they continue to make a difference bringing toys to children in need. It's the most wonderful time of year, and we want to see how you're slaying it. Share your holiday magic with us by sending in your best festive photos. We'll feature them on our social media accounts each day until Christmas week. And head on over to crossroadstoday.com and start submitting. The time is now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, we take a look at last week's plane crash through the eyes of a traveling businessman who saw the crash unfold. Okay, it is time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Corbin. Happy 7th birthday, Corbin.
Happy 7th, Corbin. And also happy birthday to Layla. Happy 13th birthday, Layla. Hope you have a wonderful day at school. We love you.
Happy birthday to Sterling. Happy birthday, Sterling. Happy 14th birthday from Mom, Dad, and brothers. May all your wishes come true.
Happy 14th, Sterling. And also happy birthday to Zakari. Happy 23rd birthday, Zakari. We love you so much, and may you be blessed with many more. Love from Mom, Nana, Papa, Micah, Lee, and your whole Mumford family.
Happy birthday to Paul. Happy B-Day, Paul. Have a blessed day. Love from your wife, Dora.
Oh, happy birthday, Paul. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating one today, or maybe you celebrated over the weekend.
That's right, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure you've noticed this last weekend. It was a bit of a warm one out there, wasn't it? We were seeing highs in the 80s all across the Crossroads. To be exact, yesterday, Sunday, here in Victoria County, out at the airport, which is just outside the city limits of Victoria City, it got up to 86 degrees, and that is actually consistent with other temperatures I saw across other stations, weather stations in Victoria City. A bit of a warm one yesterday, and actually it was the warmest it's ever been for December 15th. It actually broke the record set in 1933 of 83 by 3 degrees. Started out in the morning in the upper 60s, and we're going to continue to look like that for today as well. Not upper or mid 80s today, but still in the 80s. But if you're not a fan of all of this warm 80-degree weather like I am, I love the warm weather. This is definitely the weather for me. But if y'all, I know there are some of y'all out there that love the cooler weather or maybe colder weather. That is all going to change here real soon. All thanks to a front that's going to come our way on Wednesday night. Where's that front coming from? Well, it's coming from this big, very strong spinning system, upper level low system that is just off the western coast, just west of Oregon, Portland, Oregon, that is. That'll come on Wednesday night, and then another front will come on Friday night. It's going to be a weaker, much weaker front on Friday night. That'll come off of this system, which is a little bit deeper out there in the Pacific. But like I said, both of those lows will slowly traverse across eastward across the Rockies for the rest of this week. There goes low number 1, bringing us front number 1 Wednesday night, and there's low number 2, bringing us a front on Friday night into Saturday morning. And then we're real close to Christmas. Christmas is right around the corner next Wednesday. So you're probably wondering what's that looking like? Well, there's going to be another low that's coming off of Japan right now. That low is going to come off the Pacific going into this weekend and early next week. That one will bring us some more southerly winds for the rest of next week, which will keep us warm all week long. And you know what that means. We're going to look for highs in the 70s on Christmas Day. But we're going to look at all that more coming up later on Sunrise.
After witnessing a plane crash at a Victoria intersection, a salesman sprang into action, risking his own safety to help those in need. 25 News Now reporter Lupi Zapata shares a story of quick thinking and courage in the face of danger.
When most people see an accident on the side of the road, first responders have already arrived and are helping. But what if you're one of the first to get there? That's the situation Tony Poinor found himself in after a plane flew over his truck to make an emergency landing at this intersection.
So you see the shadow that's on the wall, and there's that plane. As I heard it first in my car.
It's illegal. No motive has been revealed. No espionage charges.
Whoa! It was that unknown. I'm just running and then trying to survey as I'm going along, and that's why I gravitated towards the pilot first, because he was the first one in front of me.
Tony is the kind of guy who sees trouble and runs that direction to help. Literally. Moments after he saw the small twin-engine plane crash at the intersection near Victoria's East High School, he ran to the wreckage, witnessing what looked like a scene from a disaster movie.
When you are a first on the scene, you just throw caution to the wind and pray that God protects you and you survive out of that.
As a member of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security CERT, this isn't the first emergency Tony has helped in.
CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team. It's a FEMA program that's been going on probably since 2001. It started in California with earthquakes and everything else, and it's now nationwide. And it's really big down here because we have a lot of hurricanes.
Tony tells me he's seen a lot of accidents, but never did he imagine he'd get to help calm the frenzy that comes after a plane crash.
I went immediately over here to the intersection, the underpass, and started directing traffic through because there was a big fire truck trying to come by, and it was all basically, gridlock at this point. So we're trying to get people through this intersection so he can come up there. And that lasted about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the sheriffs took over that part of the traffic control.
With a plane that could have resulted in a fire or explosion at any moment, I asked Tony if he worried for his safety.
You do. I mean, it's not, you can either worry about that and let it, ruin everything you're doing, or you can just go and help people. But again, I did try to make sure I felt safe enough around there, even though I did see gasoline on the ground. I didn't smell any smoke. I didn't see any fire, so I felt that I was okay.
Tony's advice to anyone who sees an emergency situation is for you to be the first responder and to help if you're able.
I do believe in God, and I feel He protects me, and if He wants to take me home, He takes me home.
Reporting in Victoria, I'm Lupi Zapata, KAVU-TV 25 News Now.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A teen is facing murder charges after calling the police to tell them he killed several members of his family. A New Mexico teen is facing murder charges after killing 4 members of his family. New Mexico State Police say the 16-year-old called 911 around 3:30 a.m. Saturday and told the dispatcher that he had killed his family. When deputies arrived at the home in Belen, about 30 miles south of Albuquerque, the teen was found to be intoxicated and taken into custody without incident. 4 victims were found inside the residence, all deceased from apparent gunshot wounds. The teen has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. Parents are using Santa to make sure their children behave this holiday season. A new study by C.S. Mott Children's Hospital says 1 in 4 parents are using Santa or the threat of no gifts to get their children to correct certain misbehaviors, but it's not always an easy fix. Experts warn that threats can backfire, especially when parents don't follow through, and that parents should learn to lean on each other and not be afraid of public meltdowns when they happen. The survey looked at 725 parents who have at least 1 child aged 1 to 5 years old. The maker of the backpack worn by accused CEO shooter Luigi Mangione says the company and its staff have received threats. This comes after rumors that investigators used the bag to track down and arrest the suspect. In a statement, Peak Design CEO Peter Daring said the company has not provided customer information to the police and would only do so under the order of a subpoena. He also said the backpack Mangione allegedly wore did not have a uniquely identifying serial number. HEB is set to host the 24th annual Feast of Sharing holiday dinner in Victoria. On Wednesday, a free delicious meal will be served from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Victoria Community Center. That's at 2905 North Street, and it will feature live music, arts and crafts, children's activities, and entertainment for all ages. This holiday season, HEB celebrates by giving thanks to its customers and bringing family, friends, and neighbors together. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now we get a look at a cloudy sunrise with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Parker.
That's right, Carolina. Look how cloudy it is out there this morning over Port Lavaca. Not super cloudy like we saw some parts of the day last week, but this morning what we did not see last week is some warm starting low temperatures. Starting out the day in Port Lavaca is 66. That's a little bit warm for mid-December, but also plenty humid out there. Humidity is at 97%, bringing us, if anything, a very, very light, thin layer of fog out there this morning, so nothing to worry about that. But right now, these are temperatures across the state. Look at this. For December 16th, upper 60s, low 70s out there to start the day. Up in North Texas, they got a front up there. That's going to stall somewhere in Central Texas today, bringing us a few spotty rain chances for today and tomorrow. But otherwise, no need for a jacket this morning. We're all in the low and mid 60s. Down on the coast, you're on the upper 60s next to that warm water. But today with warm starting lows, that brings another warm day in the 70s and 80s all across the state. Look a little closer home, though. I'm thinking 80 in Port Lavaca with the clouds decreasing in the afternoon. A little warmer in Victoria. I'm thinking 81 and about the same thing in Cuero at about 81 for today. But if you'd like all that warm 80s like weather, we're going to continue like that for a couple days before a front gets here on Wednesday night.
All right, thank you, Parker.
Of course, Carolina.
Thank y'all for being with us this Monday morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Matt today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great Monday.